Cameron Sexton, always good to speak with you. Good afternoon, sir. I hope you're well.
I'm well. Thank you, Matt. Great to be on today.
Well, it's good to have you. Obviously, it's a little bit of the off season. It's never really the off season for the General Assembly, especially those of you in leadership, but a little bit of the off season during the summer months. So I noted that there's some stuff going on over in Memphis that is it fair to say alarming? Can you tell us what you know and what you found out about what's happening over there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do know. I don't want to give out too much information so that Memphis knows what we know, right? And so, look, this year, if you remember, Matt, we had a bill where we're trying to take back the Memphis schools due to decades of poor performance and mismanagement. And we're hearing all these stories about all this stuff going on about nepotism, about companies who were subcontractors, getting calls saying they got paid for a contract and they never got paid, and they looked it up and the payment went to the contractor, but the contractor never sent it back to the subcontractor and they never performed any work. And then you just have issue after issue after issue and all these stories. And so this year, one of the things we did is put, I think it was $5 million into the comptroller to go do a forensic audit of the Memphis Shelby County schools. And as you recall, here in the last week or so, it's come out that audit would start on July 1st or in July. And so all of a sudden this week, yesterday and today, we started getting calls from people from within the school system that said, hey, y'all need to know what's going on. And what they're telling us is that the school system don't know who all is involved. I'm not going to blame anybody at this point because we don't know who issued the orders or whatever, but they are under the direction of somehow to start destroying documents related to the school system. And so not sure how they're destroying them, but they're getting rid of them. So when the forensic audit people come in, the documents are no longer there. And so we sent the request to or let the comptroller know. And like this type of stuff that they're doing would go directly to what all the issues have ever been about the financial mismanagement of that whole school system.
Okay, so help people understand that don't get the totality of the backstory regarding Memphis. I mean, you guys have tried to allow this local system to work out their financial issues, and there's just too much to dissect. And they don't seem to be able to do it, right? That's the reason the decision was made for the state to conduct a full forensic audit.
Right. I mean, look, so the state spends $1 billion on a yearly basis for Shelby County for their schools. The locals spend about $1 billion. So it's about a $2 billion school district. Your return on investment is about 0%. Because their reading proficiency levels and graduating kids who are ready to hold jobs is below 32%. And in some schools, I'm not kidding you, in some schools they have a 0% proficiency rate, 0%. And then, so you start out with that, and then what you have is you have people, when we started doing this, telling us that, well, they give this person $200,000 to go do XYZ, and they never perform XYZ. They never ask them about XYZ, or they give their buddies a contract or whatever. And it's just a huge issue financially out there. And then you had that director of schools that came in that tried to clean it up. And guess what, Matt? As soon as she went after the contracts, guess what they did?
What did they do?
Got rid of her.
They got rid of her.
Of course. They got rid of her.
Of course.
The board got rid of her, 5-3-6-2, something like that. They don't want this stuff exposed. So the best thing that we could do is do a forensic audit that goes back over multiple years to see what is going on inside that school, just based off the history. Now, this isn't anything new. This has been going on for decades. The problem is, for decades, the Democrats were in charge and they just didn't care about it. When Republicans came in, we are trying to hold them accountable, and now we're getting to a point where we're really going to start holding them accountable. And so we're hoping to get this in. It's going to be a multi-year audit because it's going to take a long time. If you remember with TSU, we did a forensic audit of TSU. That budget is a lot smaller than what Shelby County is. And when the forensic auditor came back with Dr. Glover as president, we asked him, and he said, the question was, how is this audit compared to the other audits you've done at other universities? He said, this is the worst one I've ever seen, meaning higher education for TSU. And we think that Shelby County is far worse than anything TSU has ever done.
So the bottom line is we need to find out where the money is going and who's spending what where. And now we're hearing you're getting information. Is it fair to say from whistleblowers or from people inside of the system? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way you want to go.
Whistleblowers that there are people inside that school system that are destroying documents. That's illegal, right?
It is illegal. You can't do it. All that's public record. And, we know sort of what they're doing. We know some of the documents that they're destroying. We don't want to give it out because we don't want the school system to know what we know, because it may identify people within certain areas, right? We don't know how many people are in contact with such documents. But if it's certain documents, we fear it's much more than that. And they're going through a whole process to try to minimize what we can find. And it is a crime. And so hopefully when the auditors go in, look, if you give somebody a check, there has to be an invoice, there has to be a contract, there has to be something there. If it's not there, you're either doing your job awful or the document's been destroyed. And hopefully when they get in there, the people within those areas will tell them if someone told them to destroy documents.
So, I mean,
because everything should be public.
Well, and that's my question is, are you confident that we will get to the bottom of what documents we're talking about and what, if any, direction was given to individuals about the nature of what they're getting rid of? I mean, obviously, the people that are actually doing the destruction, if that's what's going on, they're receiving marching orders from someone, and the million-dollar question then becomes, who's giving them the direction or the directive to do this type of thing?
Correct. We're still diving in on that regard, but we do have the understanding of what documents are being destroyed. And I think that was one of the reasons that the Lieutenant Governor and I today came out with our statement, is to just let them know there's no ignorance of the law. Like, if you break the law, you broke the law. We want them to understand in Shelby County that destroying these documents, whether you're told to or not, is breaking the law, and you will be held accountable for that.
Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton joining us for a few moments, talking about activities going on in Memphis, but it's affecting your wallet. It's affecting your pocketbook. I promise you that, because I believe that there is a tremendous misuse of dollars going on there. And apparently, I think reasonable people could conclude, based on information that's coming from Memphis and Shelby County, that there's something of a cover-up that is happening. But thankfully, you, Cameron, and Lieutenant Governor McNally and others have become aware of this. I mean, is there anything you can do prior to the forensic audit taking place if we believe, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds, and tell me if I'm overstepping right now, but if we believe that this is going on, is there a way for you to physically send someone in to put the stop to it so that they can't continue doing this before the auditors get there?
Well, that would be up to the comptroller. That's why we call the comptroller. Okay. Right. And then the other thing is working with the individuals who have given us that information to work with the comptroller's office and start trying to document it and do other things. Right. And so once there's a lot of things that you can do, it all will flow through the comptroller's office at this point.
All right. So, Cameron, while I have you, I want to play. I love doing this. I want to play you to you. You ready? I want to play Cameron Sexton to Cameron Sexton. If you're not following him on the X machine, it's CSexton25. This is Cameron Sexton from 3 days ago.
This is Speaker Cameron Sexton. I have a big announcement that I know you've been waiting for. The 5th Annual Burgers and Brew is back. Look forward to seeing you on August 16th at 6 p.m. at Oaklawn Farms in my hometown of Crossville, Tennessee. It's going to be the biggest, most beautiful thing you've ever seen. It's going to be huge. And by the way, there may be a big announcement coming. Look forward to seeing you then at Burgers and Brews on August 16th.
See, this is why we hate politicians, Cameron, because we had to wait a week. You made us wait a week for a big announcement to announce that there may be a big announcement.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Don't you do the same thing, Matt? I got a big guest coming up.
Hey. Don't you throw my logic back on me, pal. I'm not here for it. Well, I mean, I'm happy that you're having your big, what is it, Burgers and Brews? That's good.
Yeah, Burgers and Brews. Yeah.
All right. Am I invited?
You're always invited. Everybody's invited.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Last year we had over 1,500 people from Cumberland County there.
That's
where I live.
That's a lot of burgers. That's a lot of burgers.
A lot of burgers.
I have it on reliable authority from Democrats that hate you that you live in a bunch of other places than just over there.
That's what they say.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, well.
Well, we look forward to, I mean, any tips on what that big announcement, might be? I don't, is it too early?
No tips. It could be a lot of stuff. Look, we're still planning the event. It could be about the event. Could be about, maybe someone else will be there. Maybe it could be a lot. So,
all right.
Look, we're just moving forward and, seeing what happens.
We're going to spend the next 3 hours speculating on what that might be.
Yeah, that's what we're you will. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, look, in all seriousness, thank you for what you're doing to try to get to the bottom of the waste of money, the waste of taxpayer resources that is happening. I don't think it's an if, it's an is in Memphis, and we look forward to getting to the bottom of that. And I know that you believe that if anyone is found to have broken the law, or if there's credible evidence that people broke the law and trying to cover some of this stuff up, you're gonna make sure that they get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I know that.
Yeah, that's right. Ignorance is not a defense for breaking the law.
Cameron, thank you so much for what you do. We'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you.